Welcome to Stoner Watch, and this is my open spoiler discussion for WandaVision Episode 6, an all-new Spooktacular. And wow, man, Episode 6 of WandaVision has dropped on Disney Plus and an effing bomb on what has happened in a matter of 30 minutes. Max Shakman is doing a fabulous job on this series. I mean, every single one gets like better and better, I have to say. I mean, this show is so awesome. I have to admit, at the beginning, when I first heard about this show, when they first announced it a while years back, I wasn't really all that, I'm like, I don't know about that one. And like I saw the trailer, I'm like, I don't know. But ever since this show has been on, this thing is amazing. It just gets better and better every single week, I have to say. Chuck Hayward and Peter Cameron come in to be the writers this week. Now we get a runtime of 38 minutes. But after you minus out the recap and the credits, we're only really left with 28 minutes when it's all said and done. Now, I haven't actually been watching the recaps up until this point because I'm like, I don't really need a recap because I did watch last week's episode, so I didn't think I really needed to watch the recap, but apparently I keep on hearing that they're adding little extra stuff in the recaps. So I kind of checked out the one they had for this week, and they actually did add a little bit of something, nothing really major, but they actually had the Aaron Taylor Johnson in the recap, and then like you get to see the Evan Peters version too. So I think this is kind of concrete to make sure this is like the character he's playing. He doesn't look like that guy for some strange reason, but that's one he's playing. He's not playing the Fox franchise version of Quicksilver. I think this was was their way of confirming that. I could be wrong. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I mean, maybe. I mean, he's definitely not playing the Fox franchise one because throughout this whole entire episode, he keeps on bringing up stuff that happened to the guy that was in the MCU and not the guy from the Fox franchise. But I heard somebody bring up today in the video that when they were talking about this episode, and they think it could be possibly a Skrull that's impersonating her brother as well. I mean, and they would throw in that whole secret war invasion type storyline that they're going to do with Nick Fury in his show, right? So, I mean, that'd be kind of cool if that actually happens. I mean, I don't know. I mean, with all these crazy theories that are floating on around there, who knows, right? I mean, and then Wanda actually expanded the hex. It's actually went out like everybody said, like a mile or something. I don't know if did anybody take a measurement. I mean, but it actually expanded out even more because she had to save Vision because he actually broke out because he was trying to see what was going on. And it comes like, this proves that he can't actually leave the hex. He has to stay in there. So that was kind of amazing to find that out. And then the kids, I mean, it was kind of cool to see like the Malcolm in the Middle like type thing with the sitcom this week. You know, obviously in the intro with the music and everything, and the kids breaking the fourth wall, like talking to the camera. You had to really pay attention to. Also, because they were giving you little tidbits of the story in there too, because at that one point, Billy looked at the camera and goes, yeah, Mom and Dad are not really fighting, but they're not acting like they normally do. So I was like, hey, what's up with that? But then obviously from like last week's episode, and now the kids are showing that they have their powers too. I mean, Tommy's running around there like he's like Speed, and like Billy's showing he actually has like the same kind of powers as his mom does, and he was wearing, because it's Halloween and everybody's wearing their classic comic book costumes. I mean, the kids included, except for Tommy. He was dressed more like a mini-me of Quicksilver than he was in his actual comic book uniform. But they were still dressed up as their superpower alternative things. Like that was kind of funny to watch. That was kind of neat. But isn't it kind of just convenient? Last week, Vision is asking, where are all the other children in Westview? And this week we're going trick-or-treating. There's a maze in the middle of town, and there's people everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And when Vision lied to Wanda about having to be on the neighborhood patrol thing, and he goes out in the outskirts of town, and he's seeing all these people like that are standing frozen and kind of like doing a type thing, and the lady was like crying. I mean, that was like spooky as all hell. It was kind of like being like a Disney World, like when you like kind of like sneak up on the animatronics before they actually kick in. It kind of reminded me of that. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I mean, that was pretty creepy. And then like, it was kind of weird. He flew up in the air to kind of get a better bird's eye view. And then he sees the car and he flies down, and it ends up being Agnes sitting there all dazed and saying she took the wrong turn. She's like, kind of like being like a glitch in a video game, just like sitting there going, I mean, so that was kind of weird. So, and he kind of like touched her on the head, and so like she kind of, oh man, and then she tells him that you're dead and like you're an Avenger, and he's like, okay, What's an Avenger? He didn't know what an Avenger was. Like but then again, in the last episode, he did say he didn't have any memory about anything before Westview. So that makes it really interesting to see how that's going to play out. And again, he kind of went through the outside barrier for the Hex, but he was like dying in the process. So she had actually expanded in order to save him. So that'd be kind of interesting to see what happens with that. Cause like everybody that was on the sword base is now like, they turned into like some kind of like, it was like a circus and everything. And then Darcy got all caught up in that too, but they didn't show what she turned into. So I'm kind of hoping that it's like nothing really bad. I saw somebody online was talking like maybe she might pop in and be in her Two Broke Girls uniform and stuff like that from her show. They kind of throw that little joke in there. I mean, that'd be kind of funny. But then like I was talking to my one buddy online, he goes, well, maybe she'll be like one of the freaks in the freak show. I'm like, man, I hope she doesn't turn out to be one of the bearded lady or something. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how that all plays out. But hopefully it's nothing bad. But we won't know that until this Friday. So I don't know, man. I did like this episode. I thought it was awesome. I have like so many more questions, and they answered like maybe one or two. So I don't know. How about you? Did you like this last episode for WandaVision, episode 6? Let me know in the comments down below. Did any of your theories get busted this week? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.